non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno.
Hi guys, my name is Kirsty. Welcome back to Upside Down Books, and obviously welcome back to a slightly different video. We're going to be doing a bit of a vlog style video, and we're going to be looking at how I read as much as I do. So I'm going to be walking you through a week in my life in terms of what I am reading. I'm going to check in with you throughout the week, Monday through Sunday, with what I'm reading, when I'm reading it, how much I read, and keep track of page counts. This has been a long time coming at this point now because I've been increasingly asked the question of how I manage to read as much as I do. Most commonly followed by the question of, do I work full time? Am I working like part-time or not at all to have the time to read? And so I'm hoping to answer this video for you guys today. This is really just like a curiosity quencher because I'm not anticipating that I'm going to enlighten you with anything useful to help you magically improve how much you read. We all read as much as we do read. We have as much time as we have to read. We have different responsibilities. We have different attention spans and different amounts of like want to sit down and read. Like maybe you don't enjoy sitting down for hours, etc, etc. So hi and hello to anyone who is not a typical follower of mine. I do vlog wrap-ups for each month at the moment, so if you want a more in-depth look or a longer look at the kind of reading I do over a month, then feel free to check out one of those videos. But in short, I do work full-time. I work full-time as a book editor, so my job is focused around books, and I do think that some of the reason that my reading over the last few years in particular has increased is because reading is like a skill. It's like riding a bike. Is it like riding a bike? It's like a skill, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I guess I never really thought of it that way until I started reading at the kind of volume that I do now, that I realized that yes, it is like that. I've always considered myself a slow reader, but working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, reading books, editing books, means that I have sort of got a better understanding of how long it takes me to read things, having faith in myself that if I persevere with a book and I keep reading, you do make progress and you do get through things, and having that sort of bird's eye view on how long it can take you to do things sometimes, for me at least, gives me the motivation to stick with it and see it through to the end. So the reading that I do is before work, after work, and on the weekends. I have a varying social life. This week will hopefully reflect a more or less average week for me with various commitments throughout the week. So nothing too busy and nothing too quiet. So let's see where the week takes us.
Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo.
Welcome to Monday morning. It is now just gone 7 AM. I am more or less ready for work. I'm still wearing my dressing gown though because it's early and it's cold. Getting up this morning was hard work. I am actually running slightly behind schedule as to what I normally would be, just because I got back from holiday yesterday and could not bear to get out of bed any earlier than 6:30. So I thought I would just start this off by saying that I am currently reading The Wolf Den. I am about 80 pages in and it's just over 450 pages, I think. I'm going to make some breakfast now and see if I get some time to read before I head to work, but if not, I will be doing my drive listening to Harrow the Ninth. I think that's the second book in the Gideon the Ninth series. That's the audiobook I'm currently doing. So that's my morning so far.
Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante.
It's Monday evening now and I had a check of my Audible statistics. I didn't get a chance to show you me listening to Harrow the Ninth, but I did listen to specifically 59 minutes of my audiobook today. My commute varies depending on traffic, and traffic was really good today, and it also depends on when I pause it, if I want to think about something or get distracted and can't listen to the audiobook whilst driving, etc. So I did an hour of Harrow the Ninth, which is book 2 for Gideon the Ninth, and I'm not sure what that equates to in page numbers, but I've done about 5.5 hours out of 20 hours, so I'm just over the 25% mark in that book. In terms of The Wolf Den, I actually haven't done much reading tonight. I haven't read it at all since I got home. What's basically happened is I drove to work, I worked, I read a little bit on my lunch break, and I've managed to get to page 115 in this now. So I think, was that 20-30 pages? Somewhere around there. I read a little bit before I drove to work this morning. And then once I did my drive home this afternoon, I came home, did a workout, played a board game with my brother, called my granddad who lives overseas, played another board game with the family. So I had dinner. So that's sort of how my evening has panned out today. And hopefully this will give you an idea of how I splice up my time. So now it is 10 PM. I will probably read a bit more, but I'll let you know in the morning how far I get tonight in terms of how quickly I get too tired to read. I usually like to go to bed around 10:30 because I get up around 5:36 most days.
Quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, non più frai.
Tuesday morning, everyone else is asleep, but I wanted to check in to say I got to page 137, so this far through now. Last night, I don't actually remember how many pages that was. Maybe that was 20 pages. So I'm going to read a little bit more now. It's 7:05 in the morning, and I'm planning to leave at about 7:30 today. So I've got 20 or so minutes before I need to get up and finish getting ready and get myself on the road.
Quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, non chiudrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo. Welcome to my Tuesday evening. So I've just sat down and done a little bit more reading. So you can see I'm at page 173 now. So we are steadily making some progress through this. It is now 10:10 in the evening. That's quite late for me. Not feeling particularly tired despite feeling exhausted all day. So I'm going to be having a shower. In the meantime, since I last did some reading this afternoon, I have played board games, I have watched some TV and had some dinner with the family. So I've not been reading constantly. I've been reading for probably not even an hour tonight, I don't think. This is quite an easy read, so I actually think it looks like I'm making decent progress in this, despite the fact that I'm reading for short periods of time. So I'm not expecting that, like, when I get onto another book that's not so easy to read, that I'll make as much progress. Narcisetto d'amor, fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece...
It's Wednesday morning, it's 7:30 in the morning. I'm ready for work. I'm going to head off right now and get in the car. I've managed to read a handful of pages this morning of The Wolf Den, and now I will listen to Harry the Ninth when I drive to work. So we'll see how much audiobooking I managed to get done today.
Per il fango, per montagne, per valloni, con le nevi e salioni, al concerto di tromboni, di bombarde e di cannoni, che le porre tutti i tuoni all'orecchio fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai quella chioma, non più avrai.
It's now Thursday morning, so yesterday, and it's 7 a.m. and I have had a shower, washed my hair and had some breakfast. I'm just about to do the Wordle, and then I'm hoping to read some more of The Wolf Den. But first of all, in terms of yesterday was a typical day where I wanted to read more and I didn't, because basically I got a little bit of reading done before work. I listened to my audiobook on the way to work, and I did do some reading, but I think yesterday I watched some TikTok and just did other things on my lunch break because I had just needed a break from reading. I was actually seeing a friend immediately after work, and so I didn't listen to my audiobook until I then drove home, but I was feeling a bit distracted, so I didn't listen to much. But so it was probably about like 6 o'clock by the time I got home in the evening, and because my brother's actually visiting from Melbourne at the moment, we played board games. So we played Flashpoint in the evening, we had some dinner, we just had some chats. I could have done more reading than I did, but I really just felt like blogging, so I spent like an hour blogging, and I tried to read it just a little bit before I went to bed. So that was sort of the breakdown of yesterday. Even if some of my brother's not here, that is a typical sort of just distracted, doing other things, didn't feel like reading the evening for me. So I'm now about halfway through, and I'm at page 215. So I think I'll try and read some more now. I've got about half an hour before I 25 minutes before I head off for work. I still need to get dressed. It's also my brother's last day today and we're having a big family dinner, so I'm not expecting to get too much reading done this evening. I think this week is very much so going to be a heavy weekend reading kind of week, and that's just sort of how the cookie crumbles. So I'm really curious to see how many books I finish this week, and hopefully this is a useful insight to you to see how it kind of comes in peaks and troughs. And I'll have some days where I'll just smash out a lot of reading and other days where I won't really get much done. Adding up all the little times, like the 5 minutes, if that I get to read, definitely progresses me through the book, because I feel like I've barely read anything yesterday, but I still nearly read 50 pages, so that's not too bad.
Non più fra i farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girato, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad uncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad uncino d'amor.
Okay, so it's Friday morning now. I've just arrived at work and I wanted to quickly check in before we get through the rest of the day. I'm now at page 260 in the Wolf Den, but I've got a dash now, so I will check in with you a little bit later.
Alle gloria militar, che Rubin va la vittoria. Alle gloria militar, alle gloria militar.
It's Friday evening now, so to just fill you in on yesterday. Yesterday was quite a busy day. I didn't get much time to read in the morning. I also didn't get much time to read in my lunch break because it was quite a busy day at work and I kept getting pulled away. And it was technically meant to be my brother's last day here before he flies back home. However, tonight his flight did get cancelled, so now tonight is his last night. But anyway, we had the whole family over for dinner last night, and I did like little to no reading, read very few pages. Today, however, I have had a chance this evening to read, and you can see I've made a bit more progress now. So I'm now up to page 330, and I'm just going to keep reading tonight. I'm feeling very cruisy and chill. I'm feeling very happy just keeping on reading this book. I got to read on my lunch break and I got to read before work today, so I feel like I've had like a really solid reading day and this is like my ideal day. So maybe I'll finish the book tonight or maybe I'll finish it tomorrow and then I will start something else. I'm going to plan to do a lot of reading this weekend, so that's sort of where I've been finding my time today.
Questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria.
So it's now about midday on Saturday and I'm so excited for this weekend because it is totally quiet and I have no plans, so this will hopefully be a really satisfying end to the vlog of my reading week and taking a look at when I do my reading and how much I sort of, as just a random snapshot, can read in a week. And this morning I got up pretty late for me. I got up around 9 AM, having got to bed around half past midnight. We dropped my brother at the airport last night, so it was a bit of a late night and I slept in. I also then just didn't do anything but finish reading The Wolf Den this morning, so I think I must have read about 70 pages on and off from the morning, from when I woke up, had breakfast, lounging around and reading, etc. I am hoping to do quite a lot of reading this weekend. I have determinedly been turning down any social engagements just because I've had such a busy few weeks and I don't feel like socializing this week. So the next plan is, I want to start reading The Brightest Star, but I'm wondering if I might try and like marathon a book called Interned, or another like middle grade historical fiction that I have. Apparently historical fiction is all I'm reading right now. So that's sort of the plan for Saturday. I'm about to go out and actually go and do some books trading / shopping. There's a bookstore not far from me called Pulp Fiction where I can trade in and get store credit, and I have quite a few duplicates that I've been sort of stacking up that I've collected some way or other. So I'm gonna go do that, see how many books that come back with. Who knows how many that will be, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend just seeing how many review copies I can get through, so I'll keep you up to date with the final few days of this little reading snapshot. It's Sunday morning, we've made it to the end of the week. I have started a new book. I am halfway through The Wearing of the Green. So I feel like I have fulfilled the prophecy and promise that I at least made to myself that I would read more on the weekends. I'm going to keep you updated throughout the day. I'm hoping to finish this morning, but we'll see. Right now, all I've been doing is getting lost on TikTok, so that's going to stop. And I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to finish my cup of tea. And I think I'm going to be really decadent and have a bath this morning. My only other plans for today, thus far, is that I want to take some pictures for Instagram. And for like the first time in a month, I'm actually in the mood for it. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video was just simply about you seeing me read. So I will check in. So I'm at page 83, and I think there's like 170 pages. Like I've got 100 pages to go. This is super easy to read. I confess I am reading quite fast. It is middle grade and it's Australian fiction. So we're just going to power on through, see how much more I can get read. And I will check in with you a little bit later in the day with hopefully a new book. Wouldn't that be very exciting? It's coming up to 11:30 in the morning, still Sunday obviously, and I have now finished reading The Wearing of the Green. I think all in all that probably took me about 2 hours if I'd measured all the times I sat down and remembered that to read. It was middle grade, very easy to read. It's not very often that happens, so that is definitely a little bit of an, I don't know, unique extra fun thing that I've managed to finish a book so quickly. So that was good to read. It was a review copy, so that was great to get done. I'm kind of tempted to pick up another small middle grade book, but I did tell myself that I would start reading The Brightest Star next. This is The Brightest Star. It's a really, really stunning book. It's a bit bigger. I put my bookmark in. I haven't actually started it yet. And it is just under 400 pages. I am really excited to read this one. And again, it's another review copy, so I think that's probably what I'll do today. And I'm planning to watch a little bit of TV and take photos, as I said, but otherwise I'll just be reading. However, I don't think I'll finish this one today. But again, I'll keep you posted on when I'm reading, how long I'm reading, and how much reading I managed to get done. It's now 2:40 and I've taken my pictures. I actually spent so much time doing that. I've probably spent about an hour or an hour and a half. I took like 18 pictures today. There was just a lot I wanted to take pictures of, so that will serve me for over 2 weeks, which is awesome. I am now going to do a little bit more reading. Since I last checked in, I think I've probably read the first 10 pages of The Brightest Star. Not read too much, but I'm keen to get into it because from what I have read, I really like the writing style and the font's really big, so maybe I'll get further in it than I thought I would.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girando, delle belle...
It's somewhere around 5:30 now, and I think I've read to page 30 of The Brightest Star. I have just been on and off reading like 5 pages here and there. I keep getting distracted. I think I'm very much so not in the mood for any more reading tonight. We'll see if I pick it up, but I think I've probably run out of reading energy for today, so I'll check back in later to let you know if I got any more done. I'm not going to have a miraculous reading night, I don't think, and finish the book or even get anywhere really close to getting into it, but I think we'll just see what happens.
Delle belle tornando a riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Fra guerrieri
So it's now Sunday evening and it's 9:30, and in the end I didn't really read much more of The Brightest Star. You can see I'm really just at the beginning of it, still somewhere around page 30. I just didn't really feel like doing much reading in the end this afternoon. I think I read myself out. So that brings us to the end of this little like reading vlog snippet to have a look at when I read and how much I read. I hope that this goes some way to answering your questions about what my reading sort of looks like in the context of work and other commitments. I finished 2 books this week, and I would say that's a pretty standard week for me. It was a reasonably busy week in terms of how long it took me to finish The Wolf Den, but then I read a really short middle grade, and so that sort of put me back on my average. I would say I usually read between 1 to 2 books, with the exception of some weeks where I read less and some weeks where I read more, and that's how it sort of averages out in the end, and I read more than 52 books a year. And I think that's probably the most accurate way I can describe how much I read. If you want to see my reading stats over the years, then by all means you can go and have a look at my profile on Goodreads, which is goodreads.com/Kirsty Allen. It is also linked down below, so you can have a little look if you like, because you can see over the years how it's gradually gone up. And I know to preemptively answer a question as well, some people might think, oh, it's 9:30, I'm signing off really early, but because I get up around 5:36 for work, 9:30 is pretty much my bedtime, so I'm going to be going to bed. There will not be much more reading done tonight, so that's why I'm wrapping this up now at this time. And yeah, I thought I would maybe do another video at some point where I talk about what it's like reading for pleasure versus reading for work in the context of being a book editor, and how those two things come together, because that is probably my second most asked question is, do I still enjoy reading? How do I swap between the two? Do I find it hard to keep up with reading so many books at once, because I'm also obviously keeping track of stories at work? So let me know in the comments down below how this video went for you, and whether you still have more questions, other things you'd like me to ask. I'm more than happy to make more videos and answer these questions, and there are definitely ideas I have for other ways I can sort of show this to you guys. I hope this answers some of your questions, but in any case, that's the end of the video now, so I hope you had a lovely time watching it, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.
Alla gloria militar